when I came back and seen the boat, it like took my heart away. I've hunted a lot of years and enjoyed a whole lot of the outdoors, but I never had anything like this.
Hello, welcome to Waypoint Survival. Today we're here with Dan Lamb, and he has a fantastic survival story to share with you. So stay tuned. Well, Dan, I'm glad that you invited me here. I am looking forward to hearing your story. I've heard it a couple other times, but really excited for you to share this with my viewers. And so without any further ado, tell us about this story. What happened to you?
Thank you, James. Thanks for inviting me. We're glad to have a story that you can tell and share with others. Well, I've got a son that moved to Alaska. He took 4 of our grandbabies, so he was our favorite until this experience, I think. But Dan is quite an outdoorsman. He moved from downtown beaches of South Carolina and moved on up right straight to Alaska, took the grandbabies, and so he became a resident there and bought a boat, a nice boat, a $70,000 boat, and we're fixing to make our very first hunt on it. Brother James, we can hardly wait. I got my grandson, my son, we are ready to go. And so we have a good trip out. We put in Whittier, Prince William Sound. We traveled about 40 miles by water. I have no idea where I'm at, you know, no idea. And
so where are you south of? So you left from
Prince William Sound,
Prince
Whittier.
William Sound in Whittier. Okay.
So Whittier.
You're southern Alaska?
Yes.
Okay.
Kenai Peninsula. It's between the Kenai and Anchorage, and so that's that perimeter of where it is. And so it's big water. It's beautiful water. It's a pretty area. It's the Alaskan Ocean, and so you have a lot of blue water, a lot of glaciers. You can see ice chunks the size of houses floating in the water alongside a whale right beside you. So a lot of experience.
How big is the boat?
The boat is 26 foot long. It has 2 engines on it.
Okay.
Has a small kitchen, has a furnace, has a bathroom.
Nice.
Have everything, all the commodities. It's not real giant or big, but it's just it's a nice boat for Alaskan and hunting. So this is his first voyage with Dan, me, and my grandson, and so we're together. We're fixing to have a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. We stay overnight, and next morning we get ready to go make the hunt. So we find a river, and man, there is all kinds of bear scat. We're actually looking for black bear at the time. I'm a non-resident, so I couldn't afford a brown bear at that particular time, and so we're after black bear, and we make a walk and literally see, James, hundreds of piles of scat and skeletal fishes everywhere that the bear didn't eat. But the bear had moved off the fish, or the fish were back in the ocean, and so we got back and changed, had a little lunch, and I'm sitting against the side of the boat. I've changed my clothes with these very same clothes I got. I got a pair of Levi jeans on and just this little vest. It's a beautiful day. It's in the mid-60s. The sun is shining in Alaska. Beautiful water. We haven't seen anybody now for a whole day, and I've got my head kind of against the back of the boat, and all of a sudden Dad wakes me up and said, Dad, we have got a big bear, and he's right there. And he shows me the bear, and he said, you want to go after him? And of course I want to go after him. So the bear is only like 300 yards off, so we go down about a quarter mile past the bear. James, I never realized much about the tide. It was Dan's first time out in the boat. We didn't understand how much the tide would drop. Had no idea. So this bear is there, and he's big. Didn't realize how big he was until we got to look at him. And we just tied off very quick, and I just have the clothes on I had on then, and jumped out, literally tied off, left everything in the boat. Bad mistake, but nonetheless, that's where it was. We're excited about the bear hunt. So all of us have got bear tags, and we're ready to go hunting. You know, so we jump out. Dan ties off. I still got my tennis shoes on, my hunting shoes, my hunting clothes, my knife, my everything is in the boat. Sounds real good. We only got a 300-yard walk, you know. So we make our way to the bear, Brother James, and get down there, and the bear is actually gone. I don't know where it would happen. So we're kind of trying to understand what to do, and all of a sudden we thought we had to go a little farther. So the grandson sees his bear. He's 15, shoots his first bear all by himself. Exciting. We stop and take the pictures, man, and dress the bear and get it ready to go back. We're done with that, and all of a sudden we look up now. So we got one bear on the ground. I've still got a tag. Dan's got tags. We look up, and there's 2 bears up high in the mountain, and there's one behind us. And I said to Dan, Dad, I'm going to this one. And so Dan and my grandson, they go up at the other 2. needless to say, about an hour later, I make a stalk on a big bear and shoot him and kill him. It's an 18.5-inch skull. It's a giant black bear for Alaska. It's a record book bear. Really exciting.
Very exciting, yeah.
Exciting. But what has happened now, we've had 5 hours away from the boat. Didn't know what was happening. So I gather my bear parts. Dan goes after Hunter's bear parts, and we're going to merge back at the boat. I get about half a mile from the boat, and I look in the ocean, and there's something in the ocean. We haven't seen anybody. Now for 2 days, we haven't seen anybody. Now there's something in the boat, in the ocean. I said, what is that? And I get looking with my glasses and realize it is a cooler out of the back of our boat. And then I knew that something was not right. So I began to hurry up to get back. Now the sun is getting ready to set. We've been gone 5 hours. In the mid-60s when I started out. Now all of a sudden, in 3 hours, it's going to be in the 30s.
What time of year is it?
This is September. We're in September.
Okay.
Beautiful. The climate's very similar in early September as it is here in Ohio.
Okay. In
Ohio, the same climates. Everything's about the same. Well, I get back there only to be shocked like I've never been shocked before. This new 26-foot boat, twin engines, is upside down in the ocean. The tide had dropped 15 feet in 5 hours, so it drops 3 feet an hour. Not aware of that. Dan's not versed with it yet. So what has happened now is the boat was tied short, and now the boat literally turns upside down, and we look, and the boat is upside down in the ocean. When I came back and seen the boat, it like took my heart away. I've hunted a lot of years and enjoyed a whole lot of the outdoors, but I never had anything like this. Now I realize I got a son, and I got a grandson, and we got a boat the only way out, 40 miles from nowhere, realizing that now it's a life or death situation. I look at the boat and everything's floating around on the outside of it, and I see the little, what we call the dinghy. It's a 9-foot plastic boat. It's not hard in any way. There's no motor to it, but it's almost connecting. It's about 2 foot away from the boat. So I cut a piece of the rope and climb on the boat and get down, and now I get wet almost over my knees, and I'm completely wet with everything. It's still warm, but the sun is setting and it's cooling off quick. I just knew we needed to have the boat, and we had to have it to have. It's the only way we had out. I made a shot into the water so that Dan would know that something was the matter, and so Dan made his way quickly and hurried to get back. When he come back, he was just like I was. We were literally heartless, not knowing what to do, knowing now that I'm wet, and everything we have, he has a small pack on his back. We're just going to use that to transport the animal back. There was a couple granola bars. We had knives, but that's about all we had. My phone, my backup pistol, everything, all is under the water. Our sleeping gear, everything's gone. And we look at the boat, and it was so moving to us, none of us even felt that we had the strength even to take a picture of the boat upside down in the water. We just couldn't do it. And so Dan got back, and we had to make a plan. So it was very interesting what we're going to do. Okay, so we have no bags, no sleeping bags, all of the matches, everything is under the water, everything is gone. And it's going to be cold, and I'm going to get in trouble real quick. You can feel the temperatures now. It's probably in the high 40s, maybe mid 40s, and we're trying to make a plan. And Dan said, "Dad, I'm going to go get the bear skin." So I've got mine, and we go get Hunter's. So we got 2 bear skins, and so our plan is that would be the place that we sleep winter. That we'd all 3 of us crawl, put one down on the bottom, and put one on the top, and we would stay underneath that. And so that was the way we survived for 2 nights, sleeping between the bear skins. And that's quite an experience, and now it's kind of funny because of the smell, but it was quite an experience.
So what was going through your mind like the second day? You're hoping to get rescued? You had no cell phone signal.
The last signal we had, James, was 12 miles away.
Okay.
My phone is gone.
Right.
My son Dan's phone, he has 20% left only.
Okay.
We're in a cut in the ocean, and so we got 5 miles to get out of the cut into the main body of the Alaskan Ocean, and so then the waves are so unpredictable, and they just blow that baby raft anywhere it wants to go.
Right.
And
so you've been there now 2 nights. So this is the morning of the 3rd day? Is that where you're at this point?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
And so we have to make a plan. So we have a boat.
By the way, let's back up just a minute. Did you have a hard time getting a fire started? It's pretty cold. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's not pretty cold. It gets real cold. I'm wet.
Right.
I'm really wet. And so I'm wet past the knees, and I have this thin, very thin, inappropriate, just a boat clothes on. All my hunting clothes are under the water now, so I don't have any of my clothes. No hat, I got a little tiny vest and wet jeans and a pair of wet tennis shoes. That's all I've got.
Right.
So we considered all the options. One option were 40 miles by water, but we got glaciers, big giant glaciers to cross. And never are maybe possible to cross, but then you've got the glacier rivers are
Right.
impossible to cross. You can't survive the water, the temperature.
Cold and raging.
Both of those,
Yes.
very true ingredients. So we had to figure out what to do. So that was one option, but it wasn't the best option. And to wait for somebody, it wouldn't happen. This is a nice boat. It's set up for May Day, but what happened when the boat flipped over? It broke the antenna off, and everything's underwater.
So no radio.
No radio, everything's gone.
Right. And so you're on the shore and you've got to get a fire started. Where do you find firewood? How is it hard to get a fire started in that condition?
Much harder than I thought. I always told folk, James, if you ever find me and I'm lost, look for the world's biggest bonfire. That's where you'll find me. But what we found to be the problem, James, was that it took as much time to gather the wood that would burn as it would to burn the wood. So, in just a minute, you'll see a picture, and the biggest fire that we got after burning a whole day would be that big around.
Wow.
And
about
so,
the size of a hat.
A small hat.
A small hat. A bowler hat.
A small hat.
Right.
Because you'd have to go underneath the overhangs and get that's the only thing that was dry. It was, and that time of the year it's very misty and everything's wet in Alaska, and so we would burn things the size of a pencil, size of your little finger. That's all we had, and it wasn't burning that well. So it'd take one man that much time to gather wood as it would for it to burn.
Right. Did you use a lighter to get it started?
And we did have lighters.
Okay, good.
Now, that boat, when it happened, now the boat is completely upside down, and so the first night we're between the bear skins, okay? And
right.
Now realize I'm wet, I'm on the end, and I said that wrong. Hunter's on the end and I'm the older, so I'm in the middle and my son's behind me. And so I get shaking, I'm thinking somewhere around 12 o'clock, you know, and so Dan reached over and said, "Dad, you okay?" And I said, "Yes, son, I'm okay." And he said, "No, Dad, it's going to get tough, so you're going to have to get tougher." And right then I knew that the guard had changed. I realized that.
Yeah.
So I pulled myself in, being the father, and stopped myself from shaking, but about a half an hour later, you lose it.
Yeah.
And it got to my core, and hypothermia had set in. I'm still wet. All of us, we can't get fit underneath all the bear. We can't do it. And they're trying to protect me. They have a little more clothes than I do, but I just have on what I have on. And so Dan said, "Dad, we got to get up. We got to go. So we got to get some heat. I got to get heat in there. Got to have heat."
Right.
And so we started to move. He said, "Let's turn this boat upside down." I said, "Dan, there is no way to turn this 26-foot boat that's upside down in the Alaskan Ocean right side up." He said, "Come on, Dad." So I didn't realize we had 900 feet of rope on the boat. And so we actually were blessed, and we took the boat in a little cut that was right there where we actually had tied off to. And now we got a boat that is upside down, but the tide is up.
Okay.
And so the tide settles. And as the tide settles, then the boat is completely freestanding, but it's upside down on its top.
Okay.
But now we can get to all of our stuff.
Right.
Everything's wet, but that which food that didn't float away is there. Everything's there. So we began to gather that, and we developed a system, and Dan's quite a knotsman, James. And he made a rig so we had power to turn that boat completely upside down and right side up. So now we got a boat right side up, but we're still not out of there yet.
Right.
We're still cold, but we got some food now. But now he has less than 20%, you know. And on the other side of the mountain where we're at, the waves are 20 foot.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with a lot of issues of the elements, you know. So it's so you asked me what I felt like. I've never had a feeling like that, and because now it's serious. As we began to contemplate which way through and which way out of this thing, the actuality come through. One of us is going to have to make a move. I said, "I will go. I will go. I'll get in the dinghy and I'll make the run for it. I'll try it. I'll try it. I'll go for it. I'm the man. I'm the dad. That's I'm willing to do it." And I got outvoted. Dan said, "Dad, I'm going to go."
Yeah. Now, how old is Dan about this?
Yeah, Dan is 35.
So he's 35 at this point.
Yeah,
Okay.
35, and grandson's 15.
Okay.
So the plan is the next morning at daybreak. So we gather down and we take all the food we have. Everything we have, we give it to Dan. And we take all the life jackets. Oh, we empty the boat. Put them in a little tiny plastic boat with him. takes the oars, so he's got, all we had as much as granola and, you know, some of the protein stuff.
Now
And
you split a granola bar with him
yes, yes.
before he left, and
Yeah.
that was an experience, wasn't it?
When you're standing with your grandson and your son, and you know that Dan might never make it back, I mean, this might be the last time that you see your son.
Right.
And I made him promise, you know, because I thought somebody would come after us after a while, look for us, we'd make it somehow. We had bear meat, and but when you know your son's leaving, and you see your grandson there, and he's as tall as I am at 15, a big boy, still bigger, a little bit bigger now, and you feel that emotion of that, that's really something to feel. So Dan takes off at 7:30, and a couple times during the day I see the grandson of mine, you know, just tearing up. I said, come on, Hunt, let's go for a walk, and we'll go up and check these carcasses, and we'll make, you know, we'll hunt a little more. And about, you know, just a half an hour before the sun was setting, we looked way on out, and we could see my son making his way back in the raft. It was a good day. And he, to the blessing from the Lord, he found one of our coolers that were filled with food floating, and so he brought it back.
Now, how far out did he have to row? So it's 5 miles to
In the cut.
out of the bay, that cut, right?
And then he went 6 miles into the ocean.
So 11, 12 miles out into the open ocean then,
Yeah.
on a little 9-foot rubber dinghy with plastic oars.
Plastic oars. Crazy.
And he finally got enough signal to send a text.
He texts a friend.
Okay.
Cell phone was not working so strong, and then the Coast Guard called him, and so that was changing everything, and so he made his way back.
Right.
So we had hope then, you know, we had
Right.
hope to get out of there. So I prepared, and thanks to you, you've helped me a lot in some of that stuff, but prepared completely and entirely different, and preparing for those journeys and those things
Right.
that we can't see.
Yeah.
And we learned a lot about the area when we didn't realize that the boar tide in that area was one of the fastest outgoing tides there was. Never knew that or paid attention before. Now we watch the tide all the time. But
Right.
when it drops 15 feet in 5 hours, that's a lot of drop.
That's significant. Yeah, that's huge.
And to know how to tie off a boat and anchor a boat out and do those things, it's so much different.
Right. Now you actually have the bear hide here.
I've got the bear.
All right,
Can I
let's
show-
pause the video. Let's go get that, and let's show it. I'll hold one side, you hold the other. All
Okay,
right.
let's do it. This is one of the guys that we borrowed his hide, and we slept underneath this thing, and it was a cover for us for 2 nights to stay alive and to keep warm. So it is a nice Alaskan bear, and we've enjoyed him in so many ways, and we've had a great time with it.
Wow, that's tremendous.
Thanks, James. I'm
yeah, I
glad to hear
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And I'm glad that spiritually, you know, eternally, that no matter what had happened, I'm still okay with the Lord. And I hope all
That's
these
good.
guys and ladies that are out there in that land, wherever you guys are, or whatever country you are, that you know the Lord as your Savior. God's blessing on you.
This is James Bender for Waypoint Survival. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure and check out the links in the description box below. And while you're down there, make sure and check out our Teespring link, which is located just below the description box. There, you can buy great Waypoint Survival merchandise, which goes to help support the channel and the ongoing research that we do to bring you great video content. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. And when you do subscribe, make sure and press that bell button so that you can stay notified of all of our upcoming videos, and we'll talk to you next time.